What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only... Oh, I put something up by mistake here. Sorry about that. This is better. This is better. Here we go. That's a little bit better. I host and produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, I've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Yeah, it's been a minute. Haven't done... Well, this is what... Didn't do Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala for 3 weeks. This is we haven't been on for 3 weeks. That's sort of like foreign. And I was on a little bit of a work and somewhat rest vacation. And I'm glad to be back. I don't know if you're happy to have me back, but I'm glad to be back on Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Looking forward to epic conversations today. I know the ladies have had some time off, but they're back. So, without further ado, let's welcome Aisha, who's not camera ready because she isn't 100%, but she's here with us today, and Lala, who is poofy ready. You need to unmute yourself, Miss Lala. There we go. There we go. There we go. How we been doing?
A roller coaster.
What?
A roller coaster. I mean, it's just a roller coaster all the way around. I had to have wine tonight.
Oh, okay.
We're having ruby port wine tonight.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh God, I can't stand port wine. Oh,
here we go. She can't stand running animals. She can't stand.
But I do like Portuguese wine. I like the Vino Verde. That's my favorite.
Oh,
okay.
I'm not normally a wine drinker, so this is new for me.
Okay. What's been going on? We haven't been all three of us together for a few weeks. What's been going on in your world? Aisha got sick on us. Lala, what have you been doing?
I actually have been working on a whole lot of things that is coming up to bat real soon. I've been working on my homeowners class. And I'm excited about that. And I'm also working on a homeowner's workbook, which is going to be very in-depth. So a lot of my time has been done on that. I'm also doing a lot of content for my pages, my lifestyle blog, as well as the real estate. So I've been busy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me too.
And
I've been promoting my children's book. And so getting people to buy that. You know, my daughter's grandfather called her because she called him because he's sick. And he said, "Oh, I heard your mom's got a book. I'm going to buy it." I said, no problem. I'll send him one. Actually, we're going to bring it down to them. And her father also said that he was going to buy one. I looked at my daughter. I said, "Oh, no, he has to buy one. He doesn't get his free." No, he's got to buy his. He's got to pay. But I've been working on something new. I realized that as Americans, we're trying to figure out what to do in this time. And what I realized, and people are saying all kinds of things that, like, oh, how do we do this? How do we do this? And I realized that a lot of people don't realize that collective action happens in 3 phases. The first phase is that you have to prepare yourself. The second phase is that you have to be in community with other people. And then you get to the planning, the strategic planning of the collective action. Too many people want to go to the collective action because they don't realize that they might not be ready for the work of the collective action. We see a lot of that. And so I've been writing this guide called Practically American, a guide to understanding race, identity, and freedom in this time of uncertainty and how to prepare
Wow.
for the fight ahead.
Wow.
And so
Okay.
I'm working on that, kind of like a book that gives history, but also a journaling guide that allows people to take notes, to ask them questions so they can write down things and assess themselves and get real with themselves about how they are, if they're ready, and how to get ready, and then how to be in community with people, and then how to do the planning.
Whoa. Not playing. You're not half stepping at all. You're going all in, aren't you?
Yeah, because I decided we have to treat this the way I attack communication strategy.
Very good. Oh, we lost Aisha. Oh, we lost a whole pile of people. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's have people back. And we got one
Okay.
person on here. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, go ahead, Aisha.
What I was saying is that I realized that a lot of what I use in my communication strategy when I do it for other people is are very practical, tactical things that actually would work in the social justice space and the democracy space. Because before I do any kind of plan, I always figure out, okay, what am I prepared to do? What can I do? What's feasible? Am I ready to do am I ready to do the work? And how do I plan my time and things for the work? And then you have to be in community with people to do a communication strategy because it doesn't work. So knowing who the community is, who's in that community, and how to reach them. And then I go do my strategic planning. Where from the outside, it might seem like I just jumped into the strategy planning part of it. But actually, I did a lot of assessment beforehand. The strategy is the last step, and implementing it comes after that. But prior to that, there's a lot of other work that has to go into it, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's why a lot of campaigns and protests and movements aren't sustainable, because the people doing the movement aren't prepared for the long haul.
I think that's I'm looking forward to that publication. I believe a lot of people will benefit from that. And I think I think it's a blueprint that's very apropos for this time in especially Black history.
Yes. And one of the things that I'm also going to give some resources for people, but things like, and I think that even though it's going to be largely focused on our community, I think that other communities can take from it. For example, one of the resources I recommend for everyone to watch, specifically white people, is the film White Man's Burden. It shows America. It shows America in reverse, where Black people have all the power and white people are in the position that Black people are in this country historically. And I think there are, because I read a lot of these lists of resources and things like that, and oftentimes, and I'm not saying that we should dumb things down, but I think that oftentimes people who are the scholarly writers, and I myself have been one. Right,
you still are one. You mean have been one? You still are one.
But people who are scholarly writers oftentimes tend to write over people's heads when they write these books. And so they also give resources that go over people's heads.
That's a great point.
Right. And just because they're resources that you understand doesn't mean that someone who doesn't have the education that you have will understand all of the academic aspects of it, or the things, the stories behind them. And then sometimes when people go to explain them, they don't explain them as bare bones like we do here on the show. And so I want to do that, take care to do that, but also include resources like films and video clips and quick things that people can look at in short amounts of time, because I also realize that that our attention span as humans
is thin.
It's very thin.
All right.
We have all been conditioned to that 3-minute reel, or less.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna stop here. We're gonna go to a quick break. We haven't been around for a while, so there's lots to chat about, but we only have 3 conversation topics, but we're all going in deep, and we have a friend who's going to come on for the first part of our conversation today. We will be back in 30 seconds, and buckle up. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. Black Men Can Talk, a show where Black Canadian men come together to have real and filtered conversations about life, culture, and community.
When you speak with brothers who are not necessarily connected to community, they often think to themselves, what can I do?
You look and you compare yourself to everything on that screen, and you're feeling bad about yourself.
Look at it as, what opportunities can this particular challenge bring?
For it to be publicized, young people have to be at the forefront and not just tokenizing those conversations.
Excellent. That is another one of the conversations that I'm a part of live. Black Men Can Talk. And that's live every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. All right, let's get down to it. Girlfriends Chat with Aisha, Lala, and Jill Jones on Patreon. There's the link. Primetime Saturday Show Store. There's the link. Join Primetime with Aisha and Lala Discord group. Email me. It's not a link. It's an email address. dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And then please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please do that. We're pushed over almost at 1,800 subscribers. Things have been kicking up, partly because of the two ladies that are on your screen right now, because lots of people are kicking into my YouTube channel. The shorts are going fire. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on LinkedIn, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. My producer is moving too fast. Slow down. Listen to moi, producer. Thank you. All right. Now, to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that we're on, please email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And also, Indie Soup TV. That is powered by a good friend, Dr. Tachi, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Independent Content Creators Network, been around for 9 months, has over 23,000 subscribers. Interesting fact, I was chatting with Lala today. There was a gentleman named Roberto Blake. If you want to know about YouTube, he is certainly someone you need to check out. He did a 3-hour live online presentation or sharing session this week. And one of the things, and he is credible. He is credible. He does not play. One of the things that came out during his conversation, only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers.
Wow.
That puts Dr. Tachi's platform, Indie Soup Media, in very rare air.
I love it.
Love it.
Very
Love
rare
it.
air. I know we're supposed to have there's some topics I want, even if we get quick takes that have happened since we were away, and there were some things that have happened recently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in reverse order on something that apparently happened yesterday. Musk Rubio clashed in front of 47 during a cabinet meeting yesterday. So there seems
Apparently he loved it.
Eating dog now. See, this is what happens when someone wants someone within the whole power thing. They want this power. They become jealous of one another. They start to eat their own. We are now going to start to see this because now they all clamoring to be number one underneath the 10 ring. They all now see themselves in the position of what Trump is right now, and that's what they desire, and that's what their hearts want. We're going to see more of this, and I'm here for it. Bring me the popcorn.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I think this is the problem. When Trump talked to these people, it is very clear that he promised them each something.
Yes.
For their support and their devotion.
Aisha, you hit it right on the head.
But they're not getting it, the power and control that they were promised, because Elon Musk is going over their heads. He's firing people in their departments. Apparently, no one in the cabinet really likes him right now. But Marco Rubio was the only one to speak up. I predict this. Marco Rubio will be out by December 31st.
You think he's gonna make it that long?
I think he will go a full year just to have a full year behind him, but I don't think he has the stomach for this. And I understand, Marco Rubio, let's not forget, he has presidential aspirations. And so his main reason for taking this job was because he was trying to take the Hillary Clinton route. Senator, Secretary of State, presidential candidate. that he was trying to go that route. But this clash between them, the reporting that I read and what I've heard from other reporters is that Trump sat back in his chair with his hands crossed and watched it like it was a tennis match. Because you know what? He's looking at his cabinet as an episode of Survivor. It's
Yeah.
all
Oh my
it's
God.
all
Yes.
a reality show to him.
Yes.
It's all a reality show to him. And whoever eats the most people is the winner.
Gonna
And
make it to the
it's like
next round.
it's like think about it. And JD Vance why do you think JD Vance did what he did?
He wanted
When
to please daddy.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna
No,
get.
I don't even think
We're gonna get to
I don't
that.
even think that's it. But the thing is that as far as the cabinet is concerned, I think it was, oh my gosh, I'm not getting as much attention as Elon, so I'm gonna do something to get attention. And they're all doing these things, like even Linda McMahon. You know, I was thinking about this earlier because Linda McMahon, for example, being in the cabinet, you know, I'm like, why would this woman take a job to eliminate the agency, which would also eliminate her position?
I
And
know,
then I thought,
right? Makes
right?
no
And then,
sense.
no, but it does make sense when you realize what happened with those 10 Democrats, and we're going to talk about that. But Jim Himes being one of them. Guess who lives in Jim Himes' district? Linda McMahon. Guess who lost running for senator against Blumenthal and Murphy 3 times? Linda McMahon. So guess who she could run against primary with no problem because of money and being in another position? Jim Himes. That's the only reason he did that, and I hate him for that. But I'm gonna tell you this: why would she do that? Because DOE, I promise you, will be closed in 2 years. I promise you, because in 2 years she's gonna want to run for something. But we're seeing this with all these other organizations too. Tulsi Gabbard told Elon, "Get out my office." She told her people, "Don't listen to him. You don't have to send those emails to him." Because they're tired and they're frustrated. And I bet you a lot more was said than just Rubio and Elon going back and
Oh,
forth.
you can bet it was.
I think that's all we heard because somebody in there let it leak.
Yeah.
But no.
So
On
Regina,
purpose, yeah.
Regina says MAGA is incapable of dialogue. They just parrot propaganda. They have no idea what is going on. The GOP wants to stop town meetings because the constituents in red states are starting to get it. FAFO. Regina also says that Marco will be out by May. He should leave now and rat out 47. He was at that meeting with the Saudis and the Russians. She also says Linda can't run. She is sitting on a mountain of crimes with her hubby.
Yes, she can. She already did it before. She had the crimes before. I'm telling you.
Wait a minute. Let me make something very clear. Trump did too, and look at what he is now.
34 felonies. But here's the thing: Linda McMahon couldn't win statewide. Because remember, senatorial races are statewide. She lost 3 statewide races. But I think that she thinks she can win her congressional district because it's more local. It's not statewide in a state that has like overwhelmingly blue.
All right. So that was a quick one, but let's keep a watch. And it seems that Republicans can get elected, but it's another thing when they try to govern.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's a good point.
You know, that seems to be a little bit of a challenge for them. And man, I would have loved to have been a fly on a wall in that cabinet meeting. That sounded like it was. That must have been entertaining. And Marco Rubio, after hearing about this, I'll see how long he lasts. And apparently there were some of the cabinets saying, like, why did we didn't give you the authority? There's a big clash, but I've heard that 47 has told Elon to back off.
Yeah. See, if he were to leave in the summer, it would look more like he was against Elon, which some of the MAGA against Trump. That's why I think he would wait to the end of the year, because think about it. A lot of secretaries of state usually leave after a year or 2. They don't stay. They rarely stay for a full term. So that's why I think that he'll leave at the end of the year, so that he can say, I left because I'm considering a something. There's a run for that, but then remember, Florida also has a gubernatorial election coming up.
All
Oh,
right.
that's right.
Yes, which I think Byron Donald is running in, I hear.
Right, but I think that Marco Rubio might put his hat in and will definitely get Trump's endorsement over. I know Byron Donald's Trump kind of semi-endorsed him, but I think that Rubio might get over Donald's head with Trump for an endorsement that way, because when it comes down to it, who's he going to do? The white-looking Latino or the black guy? We already know that. We already know Trump's number.
The Walamala says only a matter of time before 47 and Elon clash.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But you know why I say no? You know why I say no? Because it's kind of like Trump and Lindsey Graham. You know, Trump has something on Lindsey Graham that has nothing to do with how he presents his sexuality. Because guess what? That's a known thing in South Carolina. When I lived there, and I worked in government, everybody knew that. But he's got something on him. I think I know what it is, but he's got something on him. And it's the same way with Musk. Why was Musk given unchecked power? Because there's something that Musk did to interfere in this election. And that if Trump were to cross him, Musk will say it, and then Musk will leave the country. And he has enough money to not be found.
All right. Just update the poll on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, which is in real time. Do you support 47's trade war? Everyone's saying no. That's responding to
100%.
100%. So that's no one is supporting. Keep on voting until the end of the conversation. I should have put it up sooner. My mistake, but I was so engrossed on what everyone was saying. Regina says Elon is increasingly drug-addled. His business are going down the toilet. He texts 22 hours a day. He is melting down. All right.
Well,
I want to put
can I say something on this, please?
Mhm.
Because, you know, as much as we are seeing, and we did talk about this on Jill and I on Girlfriends Chat, I believe last week. I've really been following the stock of all these billionaires. We are putting a dent into the situation of them and their money. But with Musk, I don't think he gives a flying cahoodle about him losing all that he's losing with Tesla because of all the government contracts that he is getting and all of the government money that he's getting. He's willing to let Tesla burn. And so, you know, that he may be losing money in Tesla, but he is gaining so much more, 4 or 5 times more on what he's doing by being with Trump.
Because he knows government money is more reliable money.
He's got it. He has to help him launch.
Yeah, because he knows that government money is reliable money. His business stuff is not reliable. It's at the whim of the markets and at the whim of where consumers are. And so and remember, and there are things that see, this is the thing about legacy media that is frustrating me. What people don't know is that Elon Musk has diverted some of the federal monies that they've cut in salaries and other things to his projects.
Yes. In
the mainstream media, this is the part that should piss people off. If you are a MAGA person and you got fired from your job because of Elon Musk cuts, you should be pissed as hell to know that your $60,000 a year check is now his. And I promise you, he's not getting the $60,000 spread out throughout the year like you would. He's getting a lump sum payment in like 3 different installments over 3 years.
All right, let's move to our next conversation topic. Earlier on this week, 47 was in the House of Representatives, and Democrat Al Green.
I was like, I don't want to talk about the State of the Union. I'll talk about Al Green, but I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, go ahead.
But you know what? Let's be honest. That's not the State of the Union.
It wasn't a State of the Union.
You can't have a State of a Union till at least a year. This was nothing but him trying to do a look at me move. And we knew that's exactly what it was. And this is why Aisha didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, and almost everybody that I know didn't watch it because it's a sham and it's a farce.
No, and here's the thing. Usually we get word of the presidential address like 2-3 weeks out, right? The State of the Union, 2-3 weeks out. And usually if the first time they do it, it's either the first year or after the first 100 days. His first 100 days isn't even over. And this man, he had this thing because he was trying to change the narrative and control the media narrative yet again, because he didn't like the fact that the press was bad about the thing with Zelensky.
Exactly.
All right.
And I'm sorry, when I do want to say this thing about Al Green, when it comes to the censure, the two howler monkeys, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, when they were heckling Joe Biden last year, Republicans didn't censor them, Democrats didn't censor them, and they probably should have. But they censored Al Green, and Al Green didn't heckle him. He basically told him in a response to what Trump said, because Trump said he had a mandate. He said, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid and Medicare, which is true.
He did his job is what he did, and now he's being punished for it.
Yes, and what bothers me is that those 10 Democrats, 3 of them are in what some people called what's districts that went Republican. But guess what? Those Democrats also were on the same ballot. You were on the same ballot as Trump, and you still won. So clearly it's you that they voted for. And that's the part that bothers me so much. But I do want to let our audience know who those 10 Democrats are, because I want to give you a number too, so you can call them and tell them how disappointed you are and how angry you are for not standing up. So here they are. They're Amy Vera of California, and our sister Jill wrote a nice message to them on Facebook. Ed Case of Hawaii, Jim Costa of California, Laura Gillen of New York, Jim Himes of Connecticut, Christy Houlihan of Pennsylvania, Mark Captor of Ohio, Jared Moskowitz of Florida, Marie Glusenkamp Perez of Washington, and Tom Swasey of New York. Now, if you are upset enough and angry enough at what's going on in this country, here is the U.S. House of Representatives switchboard number. They will pass you through to any House member. The number is 202-224-3121. And I will actually put that in our comments for people. But call all of these weak Dems and let them know you're unhappy that they're just sitting around, playing around, and not standing up.
And let me make something else you aware of something else that you have a right to do. Most people make the misunderstanding that just because it's not someone who is in your district who you voted for, that you don't have a right to call another district and to call them out. Everyone who is in Congress, everyone who is in the Senate, they work for us. So if that means that you have to write each and every one, then you write each and every one. I will be happy to tell you that I'm on like number 15. And I've started with the people who are over me, but now I have gone on and even said, y'all need to get yourself in check. You need to remember that you work for us, and I'm going to need you to step up and do what you need to do. And I specifically pull out things that they are not doing to serve us when we, the people, have sent them there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So don't just get in the bag of thinking that you only need to write your congressman and your senator. You write them all. And I'm gonna tell you, number one was Hakeem Jeffries for me.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because how are you going to be speaker and say that, well, what can we do? And you know, the thing that really disturbs me more than anything is, you know what, Hakeem, I don't understand why you are trying to be the Democratic leader that Nancy Pelosi was, because we're in a different time. It's a different time.
Everything's out the window, baby. We in a new war.
It's a different time. It's a different president. And the truth be told, even Nancy Pelosi had more backbone facing Trump.
So Jen says, Marcy Kaptur of Ohio. That surprised me. She's been on TV a lot about how much she doesn't like the current administration.
But she sure did vote to censor him.
Wow. Wow.
She
So
sure.
what
I
that
just.
tells me that you are a traitor, you are a backstabber, and you don't need your seat anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be quiet about it.
And I mean, honestly, I wrote a letter to Jim Himes, and I am prepared to read what I wrote to him. If anybody wants to hear it.
Go right ahead. I think you should.
I wrote, Representative Himes, I don't know what you were thinking in voting to censure Al Green, but I do want to put you on notice. There are a lot of us in and out of your district who are Black and brown and took offense to the fact that you pandered to Republicans by voting for the censure and what we can only see as an action that upholds white supremacy as dictated by the Trump regime, especially when you did absolutely nothing when Green and Boebert did the same to Biden. This vote was despicable, and I never will again make a donation to your future campaigns. You didn't represent me with that vote, but I will be donating to and knocking on doors for your primary challenger. And I promise you there will be one, even if I have to be the one to do it. But this won't fly. You are in a solidly blue district. It was unnecessary and very cowardly. Get a backbone and stand up or step aside and let someone with courage and gusto to do the thing that needs to be done. People are fed up with wishy-washy Democrats like yourself capitulating to nonsense. Changes are coming. As the assistant principal said to the class of 92 on our first day of high school, look to your left, look to your right. One of the three of you will not be here in 2 years if you don't do what your folks sent you here to do. The same applies here, and you will not be the one returning to Congress if you keep making moves like these that offend your constituents. Sincerely, Aisha K. Staggers.
Wow. Well, thank you for reading that. That look to the left, look to the right reminds me of my days when my first year in accounting. The professor said the first day, look to your left, look to your right, look behind you, look in front, look behind and in front of you. By the end of the first term, 2 of those people will be gone. So that brings back memories. So
yeah.
By the way, I failed accounting and dropped out after the first term. By the way,
no, but look, that was Mr. Williams, freshman year, Wilbercross High School, New Haven, Connecticut. And I promise you, there were 319 of us when 374 of us when we started. When we graduated, it was like maybe 254 or so,
Wow.
250, 280, about that much. Yeah, so there were people that were not there because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. There were girls who dropped out because they got pregnant, and there were boys who died.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And before we go further, there's a phone number if you want to call the U.S. House switchboard. Thank you, Aisha, for providing it. And it's also in the comment section on all the platforms except my LinkedIn platform. It's in the comment section. Also, thanks to our producer for helping me out with that. So it's appreciated. Next up, let's go with this one. Back to Mr. Musk. Calls on 47 to pardon ex-cop Derek Chauvin, who murdered
Baby,
George.
This is bait. Y'all don't move. Don't move. Stand still. Stand in formation. This is a test. This is a test for them to call into play martial law. And that's what they're waiting to do.
Yep.
Because with
Don't
martial law, he also can go in and say that he's not going to allow these special elections. All right. So listen, don't get riled. Don't let yourself, don't get your panties in a bunch. Be quiet and be ready to move when it's time to move. This is not the time to move.
Yep. And let me be very clear about this. The reason that they chose this case, and remember, it's Derek Chauvin wasn't the only one arrested, but they picked this case and this particular person because of the high profile nature of it, but also too, because remember, Trump is out for retribution.
Yeah.
And one of the pieces of retribution is getting back at the BLM protesters. So they're trying to bring them out. So this time he can actually shoot him. Because remember before he tried to shoot him and the guy told him, no, we can't do that, Mr. President. And so he's trying to do that because how do we know this? One of the first things in the same day that Elon Musk is calling for this, Trump also pressured the mayor of DC to paint over the Black Lives Matter painting on the street that leads up to the White House. Mind you, this is a Washington DC city street that he has no jurisdiction over. But yeah, but that's what happened. And so, like Lala said, this isn't the fight, because guess what? Let them pardon him on the federal charges. He still has state charges he cannot get out of.
That's
And
right.
he is right, and he is in Walt's state. So also that's another reason why they also did this. It's retribution.
Yep.
That is Tim Walt's estate.
Yep.
Okay, just to catch up, and I wanted to make sure. So JJ Mars earlier on said 47 and MAGA toying with pardoning Derek Chauvin. And then I know there was a comment that I had here and I can't. Okay, something. Okay, there is a comment, so I need to get up here. Regina says Derek Chauvin cannot be pardoned for 22 and a half years of state charges. It is out on it's out of federal jurisdiction.
Yep.
And
he got charged federally and state charges. Trump can pardon the federal ones all he wants. But Derek Chauvin's not getting out of jail.
And then just coming back to Al Green, April Watts said Al Green did a very good interview on The Breakfast Club.
Yes, he did. I did see it. It was good, considering the fact that I don't like Charlamagne the God, aka Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I didn't want you to say you were gonna say that again. Okay, all right.
What, lately he's been kind of on point with some things. I'm like, oh, you stepping up.
He has been on point after he spent 3 years dragging Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
All right.
After he was principal in turning a lot of black male voters.
Yeah.
Against her.
Yeah.
It's too late. As far as I'm concerned, it's too late. This right here, what he's doing now, is guilt.
Okay. This happened when we were on break. I want to hear your takes on Zelensky leaves the White House without signing minerals deal after Oval Office blow up. Like where I was, everybody, and I was out of the country, everybody was talking about this.
It was rude. It was disrespectful. And I'm sorry. Zelensky's better than me, because the moment he put that wrinkled, nasty, cruddy, disfigured, disformed looking hand on me, there would have been swings. At least enough to be like, get off me. But JD Vance, it's like that.
Oh my God.
It was clearly, it was a setup. It's like, how dare you say, and then you do this for the cameras? Y'all brought the cameras into something that you didn't need to. Y'all brought the media there. He has no power to do that. You guys did that. And here's the thing. I don't blame Zelensky, because Trump comes in with these people and says, I have a deal. He just wanted the photo op of shaking hands with Zelensky signing this thing. He wanted the photo op. He does what he did with everybody. He told them one thing. Oh yeah, I'm going to give you this. And yeah. Oh yeah, Putin. Yeah, I'll get that. That's taken care of. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. And then when it came to it, and Zelensky said, so is Putin going to sign this? Because I'm not going to be the only one signing this. Is Putin going to sign? And Trump's like, he promised he's going to. It's like, what? No. If you were really there trying to create peace, you'd have both leaders there at the same time, signing the paper, shaking hands. You don't just bring one.
That was a set up, and that was a show for Putin.
It sure was. It was a show for Putin, and it was a show.
It's created such a backlash. I don't even think he was ready for that. I don't think that Trump was ready for that backlash. I think he thinks that showed him as a powerful person who's trying to put someone in their place. But for someone who couldn't even fight for his own country, because, you know, bone spurs and all, you know, for someone who is constantly still fighting for his country, to call him out on a suit when Musk never wears a suit, this was nothing but a power move. That
I think that comment says it all. And who asked Zelensky?
The guy who's Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend.
Yes.
who showed up wearing a hat when they're not supposed to wear hats in the chamber.
Who's representing a media house that just got accredited.
I thought you were going to call Marjorie Taylor Greene a media hoe.
No, go stop it. Stop it. So Regina goes, and 47 summation, quote, "This is great TV."
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's how you know it was a setup, because JD Vance says, oh, and you do this in front of the media, and then Trump says that's great TV. Oh, so basically what you're saying is that you planned this, because somebody put out a meme today that I thought was the funniest thing. It was showing JD Vance right before he spoke, and the meme at the top said, inner voice, I gotta say something before I start having sex with the couch. And it said, JD Vance, why don't you say thank you? I thought it was the funniest.
That's funny. That's funny. Listen, if you're gonna dish it, Dr. Vibe, you gotta be able to take it.
Exactly. And then somebody else, who is it? I can't remember if it was Jimmy Kimmel or one of the late night talk show hosts, or I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, talking about Trump's tie. And he said for some reason Trump and JD Vance both decided that they would get ties that doubled as sports cups because they were so long.
They were so funny. That's funny.
He's like, look at him sitting there with his legs open, and the tie is covering his junk. It was the funniest thing to me. It was just the funniest thing, because you look at it and it's like, you know, you ask the question, the dude asked the question about what he was wearing. It's like, you do realize that man he's not sitting up in an office like our president would be if there was a war. He's actually out there with a gun, fighting on the battlefield. So he literally left the battlefield. He didn't just leave his office. He literally left the battlefield to fly the plane over here. And he can't, and he's going to leave and go back. And why was he wearing black? Because that's part of their military uniform. But also, if there is a hit on you, the last thing you need to be, what was he supposed to do? Wear a white suit? Wear a suit with a white shirt?
Is the way the world is reacting, and I definitely stand with Ukraine. I wish you come at me. I don't care. But what I'm loving is there are people all across the world who are standing up to Russia now even more. So there is, I think, outside the Italian Russian embassy, they painted the Statue of Liberty thing out there in front of in the colors. Then there was another embassy in front of the Russian embassy that went out, and what they did in London, they spread the colors of the flag of paint on the ground. So every time someone drove by, those colors of Ukraine flags on both sides were painted in front of the embassy. The world is tired of this. The world is trying to be diplomatic, but it's at this point now where we can't be, and you have to stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. And I think the whole world is feeling that. It's not just America. What Trump is bringing out in people is solidarity and unity for humanity.
Yeah. I hate the fact that we're going to have no allies when this is over, but I like the fact that our allies are uniting themselves. And I'll tell you this, I don't know how or why Trump thinks this global superpower of the US, Russia, and China is supposed to happen or function when Russia and China both want to take over the United States. But let him have his delusion. By the summertime, I think that Americans are going to start to wake up. And I think that you are going to start to see more people protesting. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't think the people, put it this way, the people who are going to be on the front lines this time aren't going to look like us.
No.
And he's going to have a hard time shooting them.
Yeah.
Okay. Last conversation piece. We are broadcasting live on March 8th, Saturday, March 8th. It is International Women's Day. Ladies, do you have any comments, thoughts on International Women's Day?
I do, because you know what? Women are the backbone a lot of the times of all the movements. We are by nature nurturers. And the fact that we still can carry this world, birth the men who also run this nation, and still be paid so much less than what men are paid speaks a lot. And we are under attack as well as women, because they want us to go back to the places of just being housewives, thinking that that is not powerful, when there is nothing more powerful than a housewife. Okay, like even a housewife is just powerful.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We are being put under the gun by people taking away every last one of our rights, like we don't count. I am here to tell you, ladies, you are more powerful than you will ever know. And you need to step in your power and get information. I don't care if Google takes our International Women's Day off of their calendar. I don't care if the government is trying to tell you that you're not worthy. I know differently, and so do you. If we don't give birth, there will be no one to run this country as long as they disregard us. Know your power of creation and know your power to change this world. Now you're the one who's going to have to make it right.
Amen. I just want to say to the women in the Congo and the women in Haiti who are watching war, who are mothers and watching war ravage their countries, and seeing their children being faced with such atrocities. Know that there are many of us who, while we're fighting our own fights in this country, do think about you all.
Yes.
We do speak of you all. We do speak of your plight. And when we're fighting for ourselves, we're also fighting for you. Especially, I really want to especially give my love and respect to the women who are in the African countries that lost their U.S. aid.
Yes.
Because I know what it's like to, struggle, work, not have enough to, pay the bills sometimes, and worry, am I going to have enough for food and for the light bill and the car or what it's like, or, maybe I'll let my daughter eat and I won't eat so I can have enough money for gas until my next paycheck on Friday.
Right.
I've been there. I understand that, but what I don't know deeply is not having anything. And then having something one day and someone taking the very little that you have away, including those nutrition packs. A lot of that money went to these nutrition packets developed by a Black man it was fortified peanut butter, little packets of fortified peanut butter that kept these kids, that helped these kids with their nutrition. And the fact that we stopped that aid there and the cruelty of it tells me that there's more cruelty to come on our own people. If he can do that to the least, the people with the least in the world, imagine what he can do. Imagine what he can do to people here that have the least. And so I will always have your plight in mind as I am fighting through my own plight.
Exactly.
Okay, you have some comments here. Dusty Bunny says, love to celebrate all kinds of women, but do not fall for the rhetoric that the only respectful type of woman is one that's complicit. We must be changers. Regina says, my thought. Harris is
Mhm.
our real president. The biggest tragedy is not having her leading us. Sisters have to stick together, but the Karens are undermining. Despite women are the soul of the world.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah.
you don't, go ahead.
And I also want, and on this Women's Day, I think we should also give a shout out to two women that we've lost that we didn't get a chance to talk about,
Yes.
being Roberta Flack, and Angie Stone,
Yes.
women whose music was about liberation
Yes.
and self-love and being women.
Well, if I have your permission, ladies and audience, I'm going to read a poem
Yes.
for
Yes.
Women's Day. So here we go. It's called A Tapestry of Light. The year turns, a new dawn breaks, a symphony of strength for goodness sakes. For every heart that beats, a story spun, a tapestry of light where victories are won. From whispered dreams to voices bold and clear, a legacy of courage, banishing all fear. The hands that nurture, the minds that soar, breaking ceilings, opening every door. Through fields of science and art's embrace, in boardrooms, kitchens, every sacred place. A mother's wisdom, a sister's gentle hand, a leader's vision, a shaping every hand. Let kindness bloom, let empathy ignite, let voices rise in truth's unwavering light. For every struggle, a resilient seed, a future woven where all can truly lead. So raise a glass, aka Lala, to spirits ever bright, to women's power shining ever bright. In every triumph, a shared and glorious gleam. For International Women's Day, a vibrant living dream. Let every woman know her worth, her might, a beacon burning, forever bold and bright. As we journey hand in hand, we'll stride with love and purpose side by side.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to end off this epic conversation.
No,
No?
no.
No?
We also have to acknowledge the loss of Roy Ayers
Yes.
and Dwayne Wiggins of Tony.
Yes.
Yes. 100%. 100%. 100%. We've
Like
lost
my
some
daughter
great-
said, and
Right.
I told Lala and Jill this, we are losing our recipes.
Yes.
It's a good way to put it. Good way to put it. All right, family. That is it. And that's the first poetry we've ever had on that's the first time I've read a poem on any of the platforms. I said, today, let's do something for
We
international.
might need more of that on this platform because
Okay.
sometimes poetry has a way of saying what we feel, but also making us feel better about where we're at.
100%. All right. That is a wrap. And we's done. Before we leave, I was going to see if I get another poem out, but it's now time for the ladies to share their contact information. And we will go first with the lady they call Lala.
Well, it's easy to find me. I made it very simple. You could just go to my website, which is www.laurakey.net. I have a lot of free resources there for you. I have a wonderful blog that I love to keep you updated about buying real estate about. And my merch store is also on that page too. So if you're interested in fighting the power and you like to do it with t-shirts and candles and bags and mugs, then you can go there and look at my my merch and then support me there. But I'm also really active now as Facebook has now decided to continue to punish me for posting Black history facts and speaking out. I am moving a lot of my stuff to Buy Me a Coffee, and that's at buymeacoffee.com/rebirth of Lala. And I will be happy if you would go over there and support me there as well. You can see my other links here. The Roots and Richness is my merch store, but for now, I've moved everything to the website.
Thank you so much. It's Aisha Staggers time.
Yes. You can find me on Blue Sky at akstaggers.bsky.social. You can also find me at Medium if you want to find any of my writing, and you can find me on Instagram at akstaggers. And Regina Friss, hit me up. We got something to talk about and stuff.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Finally, moi. You can catch me at the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Yeah, man. Especially via the LinkedIn. Subscribe, notifications, share it out. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the drvibeshow.com. Instagram at the drvibeshow. X/Twitter, drvibeshow. Email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And you can also catch me at Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. And you can catch replays of this epic conversation at the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show website, the drvibeshow.com. And that's a wrap. So want to say, oh, there's a few more comments here. All right. So, oh, look at this. Jen, love the poem. She says, great show. Nice poetry. Thanks for the show. The Walamata, good. And then Regina says, thanks, good night. So for those people who are Discord subscribers, I will be posting the poem with our Discord group. All right. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Good if you make both. And finally, make it better. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. And you know what? It's so good to be back. Peace.
Understand how afraid I am of any member of the rodent family that's down to squirrels and chipmunks. Okay? I cannot stand all members of the rodent family. Rabbits, bunnies, no. I don't.
What else is going on that day? I mean, is there something we're supposed to be doing?
Why are you going there? Why are you going there? You know I'm going to ask you. It falls the same day as the inauguration of the new president.
So what? Excuse me? I'm sorry.
So in other words, Monday.
So onesies. Now, folks, don't ever think you're going to see us all on a show with onesies on. Don't do that.
You might see me. You might see me.
You'll see me and Lala because we oftentimes wear ours.